Whenever there's a disaster or catastrophe, the first thing we focus on is saving lives,
Okay, and you have been
prioritizing
watching a press
those lives.
conference, roundtable discussion actually from the President of the United States there. That is the governor of Texas now speaking. I mean, just to recap a little bit what he said. I mean, look, off the top, both the President and the First Lady have been clearly affected by what they've seen and heard there on the ground in Texas, and made special mention, of course, of the survivors and meeting also with the families of those who lost loved ones. I mean, the President himself called them young angels, especially those from the Mystic camp. And the First Lady there just speaking eloquently and saying that with the survivors and with the families of those that have lost so much in this disaster, they said, we prayed, we hugged, and she pointed out that she was given a special bracelet. And this is key here. She did promise to come back. Larry Sabato is with us now. Larry, good to see you as we continue to watch what unfolds there in Texas. I mean, look, in terms of a president being on the ground at this hour and the exhaustion of everyone on the ground, and to think they haven't been able to rescue anyone for well over a week. This is really shock and grief that is now setting in. So how important is it to have the president on the ground?
Paula, this has become an American tradition. I know it doesn't occur in every other country, even every democracy, but we expect presidents to appear at the sites of these horrible tragedies. Now, we also criticize them when they come too quickly. And I think Trump did the right thing in waiting until Friday to show up there, because they end up interfering in the rescue efforts. And this rescue is going to go on for quite some time in order to recover all of the bodies. I thought that was as empathetic, really, as Donald Trump gets. His wife, the First Lady, was considerably better, I think, in communicating that empathy. So perhaps she should accompany him on more of these trips. But this is what Americans expect. They also expect to have their federal government do the utmost to solve the immediate problems. And apparently there were problems getting FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, down to Texas quickly. There were other problems along the way. The state also has things to answer for, like not providing the sirens, and the local governments could have done the same thing. Some did, but unfortunately, in this particular case, the local government most affected did not set up the sirens. So it's a good reminder to everybody that we have to think of the worst case scenario, particularly with the devastation of climate change, human induced climate change, which some people, many people in the Trump administration deny is even happening.
But I think what's unsettling as well is the kind of reform that the Trump administration wants to bring to bear. Again, I will quote from the president what he just said. He said, we're not going to let a thing like this happen again. Now, we know that extraordinary climate events will continue to happen. They used to call them 100-year floods, right? They're not. They're every decade now, and that's if you're lucky. But Larry, when we talk about some of the reforms that are being introduced here, of course, a lot of DOGE cuts that have already happened in a lot of departments, including the weather administrators that are on the scene, and also then now going to FEMA, right? The people that are responsible for preparing for these kinds of disasters and then helping citizens afterwards. How delicate is this now when you try and embark on both cuts and reform, when clearly the United States, has these incredible disasters that so devastate communities?
In a sense, this has also served as a warning to the Trump administration, and they were lucky to get it early rather than late. And I'll tell you, I don't think they're going to abolish FEMA. They were once talking about abolishing FEMA, but I've already detected a change in tone from the administration. Now they may reduce the size of FEMA, and we'll find out if they even do that. But FEMA may have gotten a reprieve. But I'll tell you, it is disturbing to hear from the meteorologists and climate scientists how dramatically the reductions have already affected the National Weather Service and NOAA. And I would point, people say, oh, well, climate scientists are all liberals. I don't think that's true. But I would point to the meteorologists, people who have been on air for decades, such as those in South Florida, who are now speaking out and saying, because of the cuts at the National Weather Service, because of the reduction in the weather balloons that are being sent up, they will not be able to make the kinds of accurate forecasts for the big hurricanes that almost inevitably hit Florida in the hurricane season, which we're in now. That's a massive property loss, and even more important, the lives lost. And that's something that the administration may want to reconsider too, because they're already having problems. There are key personnel vacancies that could have helped in this case and will certainly help in the disasters inevitably to come.
This is certainly some of the criticism of those DOGE cuts, right? That yes, there is bloat certainly at the federal government, but if you do make those cuts, they must be thoughtful because or else they impact people. Now, I want to say CNN's reporting did uncover the fact that maybe the forecast was out there, but there was a key coordinator position, someone that was going to, for lack of a better term, ring the alarm to say a wall of water could be hitting you in a matter of hours. That seems to be the missing link in this disaster. So, Larry, we did hear, again, empathy, of course, from the president and the first lady. But I want to ask you how, the president, his recourse, right? He tends to go back to people and say, look, we will get this right. We will continue to go forward, but we will get the mix right. If you're at FEMA right now and you're trying to decide, I've not heard that the $100,000 limit, for instance, has been erased. No one from the Trump administration has come and said, no, now, $1 million approval without having to go to the secretary herself.
Yes, well, I will say this, all presidents exaggerate in their rhetoric, but I think that's particularly true of Trump. Trump will always say he's going to solve every problem completely and totally, and these problems will never happen again. And of course, we know that's not human nature, and that certainly isn't the nature of government. People have to try to hold him to it. And of course, this is in a red state, a solidly red state. And it has an enormous MAGA base, Make America Great Again, Trump base. And if they start holding Trump accountable for his promises, maybe, just maybe, there will be progress.
Yeah, and it is chilling to think. Certainly, Texas has been through it in terms of climate crisis, and they do need to get this right and really have no time to waste. Larry Sabato for us. Good to see you. Appreciate it.